Hello, my friend. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Take a deep breath and relax. You're in a safe space now, a space where learning English doesn't feel like work. It feels like conversation, like sitting with someone who cares about you, someone who believes in you. And I do believe in you, my friend. I really do. Today, we're going to talk about something extraordinary, something powerful, something that changed the world forever. We're going to explore the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. Yes, Napoleon, a man who started with almost nothing and became an emperor. A man who proved that your beginning does not define your ending. And I think his story has something beautiful to teach us, not just about history, but about life, about hope, about the power inside you. But before we dive into his story, let me ask you something. How are you feeling right now? Are you tired? Are you stressed? Maybe you've been working hard, studying English for a long time, and sometimes you feel like it's not getting easier. Sometimes you feel like you're not making progress. I understand. I really do. Learning a language is not always easy. But here's what I want you to remember, my friend. Every single word you hear, every sentence you understand, is progress. You are growing. Slowly, gently, but you are growing. And that is beautiful. So take another breath. Let your shoulders relax. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be here, present, listening. And that's exactly what you're doing. I'm proud of you.
Now, let's talk about Napoleon, but not in a boring way, not like a history textbook. No, we're going to feel his story. We're going to walk beside him. We're going to see the world through his eyes, because his story is not just about battles and crowns. It's about something deeper. It's about a young man who refused to give up, a young man who believed in himself even when the world told him he was nobody. Napoleon was born in 1769 on a small island called Corsica. Corsica is a beautiful island in the Mediterranean Sea. It's between France and Italy. Mountains, beaches, little villages, it's peaceful. But when Napoleon was born, Corsica had just become part of France. Before that, it was independent. And Napoleon's family, they didn't feel French. They felt Corsican. They felt different, like outsiders. Napoleon's father, his name was Carlo. Carlo was a lawyer. Not rich, but not poor, just middle class. He wanted his children to have opportunities. He wanted them to study, to succeed. And Napoleon, he was the second son. Not the oldest, not the baby, just somewhere in the middle. Sometimes being in the middle is hard, isn't it? You're not the first, so you don't get all the attention, but you're not the last, so you can't be the baby. You have to find your own way, your own voice. And Napoleon, he found his voice. Oh yes, he found it.
When Napoleon was 9 years old, his father sent him to France to study. Imagine that, my friend, 9 years old, leaving your home, your island, your family, and going to a foreign country, a country where people speak differently, where people look at you and think you're strange. That takes courage, real courage. And Napoleon, he was brave, but he was also lonely, so lonely. He went to a military school in a town called Brienne-le-Château. It's in the north of France. Cold, gray, very different from sunny Corsica. And the other boys, they made fun of him. They laughed at his accent. They laughed at his name, Bonaparte. It sounded Italian to them, foreign. And they called him names. They pushed him. They made him feel small. Imagine being a child, far from home, and everyone treats you like you don't belong. How would that feel? Painful, right? So painful. But Napoleon, he didn't break. He didn't give up. Instead, he turned that pain into power. He studied harder. He read books, so many books. He read about great leaders, great generals, great empires. He read about Alexander the Great, about Julius Caesar, about ancient Rome. And in those books, he found hope. He found examples. He found proof that one person, one determined person, can change the world.
Let me pause here for a moment, my friend, Because I want to make sure you understand something. Napoleon was just a boy, a lonely boy, an outsider. Nobody believed he would become somebody important, but he believed in himself. And that belief, that quiet, burning belief, it carried him forward, step by step, day by day. And I want you to think about that, because maybe, just maybe, you feel like an outsider sometimes too. Maybe you feel like your English isn't good enough. Maybe you feel like people judge you when you speak. But listen to me carefully. Those feelings don't define you. Your belief in yourself, your decision to keep going, that's what defines you. Napoleon taught us that, and I want you to remember it. Now, let's continue. Napoleon finished military school when he was 16. 16 years old, and he became a military officer, a lieutenant. That means a low-ranking officer, not important yet, not powerful yet, just a young man in a uniform. And for several years, he didn't do much. He was stationed in different places, he read more books, he wrote letters to his family, he thought about Corsica, about his mother, about his brothers and sisters. He sent them money when he could. He was a good son, a loyal brother. Even when he had very little, he shared.
But then, something happened. Something that changed everything. The French Revolution began. Do you know what a revolution is, my friend? Let me explain it gently. A revolution is when the people of a country say, no more. We don't want the old system anymore. We want change. We want freedom. We want justice. And the French Revolution, it was one of the biggest revolutions in history. The people of France, they were tired of the king, tired of the rich nobles, tired of being poor and hungry while the rich lived in palaces. So they rose up, they fought, they demanded change. And Napoleon, he saw an opportunity, not to be cruel, not to be selfish, but to prove himself, to show his talent, his skill, his intelligence. Because when everything is chaos, when the old rules don't work anymore, that's when someone new can rise, someone brave, someone ready. And Napoleon, he was ready. In 1793, there was a battle, a very important battle, in a city called Toulon. Toulon is in the south of France, by the sea, and the British, they had taken control of Toulon. They were enemies of revolutionary France, and France needed to take Toulon back. But how? The city was protected by the British Navy, strong, powerful, and the French generals, they didn't know what to do.
But Napoleon, he had an idea. He was only 24 years old, still young, still unknown. But he had studied military strategy. He had read about battles, about tactics, about how to win. And he told the French commanders, if we capture the high ground, the hills around the harbor, we can put our cannons there, and we can force the British ships to leave. We can take back the city. Simple, clear, brilliant. And it worked. Napoleon led the attack. He was wounded, shot in the thigh, but he didn't stop. He kept fighting, kept leading, and the French, they captured the hills. They positioned their cannons, and the British, they had no choice. They left. Toulon was French again, and Napoleon, he became a hero overnight. People started talking about him. Who is this young officer, this Corsican, this Bonaparte? And suddenly, he wasn't an outsider anymore. He was a somebody, a rising star. Let me tell you something, my friend. Napoleon's success at Toulon, it wasn't luck. It was preparation meeting opportunity. He had spent years reading, studying, learning, and when the moment came, he was ready. And that's a lesson for you too. Maybe right now you're in the preparation phase. You're learning English. You're listening to lessons. You're practicing. And maybe it feels slow. Maybe it feels like nothing is happening. But trust me, you are preparing. You are getting ready. And one day, your moment will come, and you will be ready, just like Napoleon.
After Toulon, Napoleon's life changed quickly. He became a general, a young general, and the French government, they gave him important missions. One of those missions was to lead the French army in Italy. Italy was divided back then, many small kingdoms, and Austria, a powerful empire, controlled much of northern Italy. France and Austria were at war,
and Napoleon's job was to defeat the Austrians in Italy. Now, let me paint you a picture. The French army in Italy, it was a mess. The soldiers hadn't been paid in months. They were hungry, their uniforms were torn, their shoes had holes. They were tired, demoralized. They didn't believe they could win. And Napoleon, he was their new commander, a young man, only 26 years old. And when he arrived, some of the soldiers laughed. Who is this boy? How can he lead us? But Napoleon, he didn't get angry. He didn't shout. Instead, he spoke to them. He looked them in the eyes, and he said, "Soldiers, you are hungry, you are tired. But across the mountains in Italy, there are rich cities. There is food, there is glory. Follow me, and I will lead you to victory. I will lead you to honor. I promise you." And something in his voice, something in his eyes, made them believe him. And they followed.
And what happened next? It was extraordinary. Napoleon led his army through the Alps, the mountains, in winter, cold, dangerous. Many said it was impossible, but he did it. And then, battle after battle, victory after victory, he defeated the Austrians again and again, not because he had more soldiers, not because he had better weapons, but because he was smarter, faster, more creative. He moved his army quickly, he surprised the enemy, he attacked where they didn't expect. He was like a chess player, always thinking 3 moves ahead. And the French soldiers, they started to believe, they started to win, and they started to love Napoleon. Because he kept his promise, he gave them victories, he gave them hope. Let's pause for a moment, my friend. Take a deep breath. I want to make sure you're following. I want to make sure you're feeling the story. Napoleon wasn't just a general. He was a leader, a true leader. He didn't just give orders. He inspired people. He made them believe in themselves. He made them believe in something bigger. And that's the kind of person you can be too. Not a general, maybe, but a person who inspires, a person who doesn't give up, a person who helps others believe.
Now, let's talk about how Napoleon speaks to us today. Not about war, not about battles, but about the human spirit. About rising from nothing. About believing in yourself when nobody else does. Because that's the real lesson of Napoleon's rise, isn't it? He wasn't born special. He wasn't born rich. He wasn't born powerful. He was born ordinary. An island boy, an outsider, someone people laughed at. But inside him, there was a fire, a determination, a refusal to accept his circumstances. And he built himself, step by step, year by year. He turned himself into someone extraordinary. And you know what? You can do that too. Not by conquering countries, but by conquering your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. Every time you practice English, every time you listen to a lesson like this, you are building yourself. You are becoming someone stronger, someone braver, someone more capable. And I want you to feel proud of that, because it's not easy, but you're doing it. You're here, you're trying, and that matters. It really matters.
Let me tell you a story, a small personal story, to help you understand. A few years ago, I met a woman. Her name was Maria. Maria was from a small village. She never learned English growing up, never had the opportunity. But when she was 40 years old, she decided to learn. People told her, "Maria, you're too old. It's too late. You can't learn a new language now." But Maria, she didn't listen. She started slowly, very slowly. She watched English videos. She listened to lessons. She practiced every day. And you know what? After 3 years, she could speak. Not perfectly, but well enough. Well enough to get a better job. Well enough to help her children with their homework. Well enough to feel proud of herself. And one day, she told me, "I feel like Napoleon sometimes, because I started with nothing, and I built something, something beautiful." And when she said that, I almost cried, because that's what learning is. That's what growth is. It's building something beautiful, from nothing. And that's what you're doing, my friend. You're building, brick by brick, word by word, lesson by lesson. And one day, you're going to look back, and you're going to see how far you've come, and you're going to feel so proud, so amazed, because you did it. You didn't give up.
Now, let's go back to Napoleon. By 1799, he had become famous, very famous. All of France knew his name. He was the hero who had defeated Austria in Italy. He had also led a campaign in Egypt, fighting the British there. The campaign didn't go perfectly, but people still admired him. They saw him as strong, decisive, a man of action. And France? France needed a man of action because the government was weak, corrupt, unstable. The revolution had promised freedom and justice, but years later, there was still chaos, still suffering. The people were tired. They wanted stability. They wanted someone strong to lead them. And Napoleon? He saw his moment. In November 1799, he carried out a coup. Do you know what a coup is? Let me explain. A coup, it's when someone takes power by force, not through elections, not through votes, but by simply taking control. And that's what Napoleon did. He and his supporters marched into the government building. They pushed out the old leaders, and they declared a new government, a new system, with Napoleon at the top. He called himself First Consul, not emperor, not yet, but the most powerful man in France.
And you know what? Many people were relieved, happy even, because finally someone strong was in charge, someone who could make decisions, someone who could bring order. And Napoleon, he worked hard. He reformed the legal system. He created the Napoleonic Code, a set of laws that is still used in many countries today. He fixed the economy. He made peace with the Catholic Church. He reopened schools. He built roads, bridges. He made France feel alive again, proud again, hopeful again. And in 1804, Napoleon took the final step. He declared himself Emperor of the French. Emperor. Not just a consul, not just a general, an emperor, like the rulers of ancient Rome. And on December 2nd, 1804, there was a grand ceremony in Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. The Pope was there, nobles were there, soldiers were there. Everyone who mattered in France was there. And Napoleon, he wore a golden crown, a magnificent robe. He looked like a king from a fairy tale. And in that moment, the boy from Corsica, the outsider, the one people laughed at, he became an emperor. He took the crown and placed it on his own head, a symbolic gesture, meaning, I did this, I earned this, nobody gave this to me, I took it, I built this, and it was powerful, so powerful.
Let me stop here for a moment, my friend, because I want you to think about that image. Napoleon placing the crown on his own head. What does that mean? It means you crown yourself. You don't wait for permission. You don't wait for someone to tell you you're good enough now. You decide, you believe, you act. And that's what I want you to do with your English. Don't wait for someone to tell you, now you're fluent, now you're ready. You decide. You say, I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming better every day. You crown yourself, my friend, with belief, with effort, with love for yourself. Now, let's practice together. Because learning English isn't just listening, it's also speaking, repeating, feeling the words in your mouth. So I'm going to say some sentences, and I want you to repeat them slowly, gently. Don't rush, just let the words flow. Ready? Let's begin. Repeat slowly after me. Napoleon believed in himself. Good. Now again, Napoleon believed in himself. Beautiful. Take a breath. Relax your jaw. Now say it with me. Napoleon believed in himself. Perfect. Next sentence. Repeat slowly after me. He started with nothing. Again, he started with nothing. Good. Now together, he started with nothing. You're doing great. Next one. Repeat slowly after me. He became an emperor. Again, he became an emperor. Excellent. Now together, he became an emperor. Feel the power in those words, my friend. He became an emperor. He rose. He grew. He changed his life. Let's try a longer sentence now. Repeat slowly after me. Your beginning does not define your ending. Again, your beginning does not define your ending. Take your time. Feel each word. Now say it with me. Your beginning does not define your ending. That's beautiful. And it's true. So true. One more. Repeat slowly after me. I am learning English every day. Again, I am learning English every day. Good. Now together, I am learning English every day. And you are, my friend. You really are. Now, take a deep breath. Relax. You did wonderful. You practiced. You spoke. And that takes courage. I'm proud of you.
Let's talk a little more about Napoleon, but in a different way. Let's talk about the lessons we can learn, not from his wars, not from his conquests, but from his mindset, his attitude, his refusal to accept limitations. Because Napoleon, he faced so many obstacles. He was short, people made fun of his height. He was foreign, people didn't trust him. He was young, people didn't take him seriously. But he didn't let any of that stop him. He focused on what he could control: his education, his skills, his work ethic, his determination. And slowly, step by step, he built a life that nobody thought was possible. And that's what I want for you, my friend. I want you to focus on what you can control. You can't control how fast you learn English. You can't control what other people think of your accent. You can't control the past. But you can control today. You can control this moment. You can decide to listen, to practice, to believe in yourself. And if you do that, every single day, you will grow. I promise you, you will become someone you're proud of.
Let me tell you another small story, a true story. I once knew a man. His name was Ahmed. Ahmed was an engineer, very smart, but his English, it wasn't strong, and he wanted to work for an international company, a big company. But every time he went to an interview, he felt nervous. He felt like his English wasn't good enough, and he was rejected again and again. And he started to lose hope. He thought, maybe I'm not meant to do this. Maybe my English will never be good enough. But then, one day, he decided to change his mindset. He stopped thinking, I'm not good enough. And he started thinking, I'm learning, I'm improving. Every day, I'm better than yesterday. And he practiced every day, even just 15 minutes. He listened to English, he repeated sentences, he spoke to himself in the mirror. And after 6 months, he tried again. He went to another interview, and this time, he got the job. Not because his English was perfect, but because his confidence had grown, his belief had grown. And the interviewers, they saw that. They saw someone who didn't give up, someone who kept trying, someone like Napoleon, someone who rose. And you are that person too. You're reading this, you're listening to this, you're here. You didn't give up, and that makes you strong. That makes you beautiful. Now, let's practice a little more. But this time, I want you to focus on pronunciation, on the melody of English, the rhythm, the flow. Because English isn't just words, it's music, it's emotion. So let's practice some sounds together. Ready? Repeat slowly after me. Rise. Good. Again. Rise. Feel how your voice goes up,
like a bird flying. Now, say it with me. Rise. Beautiful. Next word. Repeat slowly after me. Believe. Again, believe. Notice the long E sound at the end. Believe. Now together, believe. Perfect. Next one. Repeat slowly after me. Emperor. Again, emperor. Or. 3 parts. Take your time. Now together, emperor. Excellent. Let's try a phrase. Repeat slowly after me. I can do this. Again, I can do this. Now say it with me. I can do this. And you can, my friend. You really can. One more phrase. Repeat slowly after me. I am proud of myself. Again, I am proud of myself. Good. Now together, I am proud of myself. Say it again. I am proud of myself. Because you should be proud. You're learning. You're growing. You're here. Take a deep breath now. You're doing wonderful. Really wonderful. Now, let's think about what Napoleon's story means for us today. Not just for English learners, but for anyone. Anyone who feels small. Anyone who feels overlooked. Anyone who feels like they don't matter. Because Napoleon's message is simple and powerful. It's this: you matter. Your dreams matter. Your efforts matter. And no matter where you start, you can rise. You can grow. You can become someone extraordinary. Napoleon wasn't extraordinary because he was born special. He was extraordinary because he decided to be. He decided to study, to work, to try, to never give up. And that decision, that choice, it changed his life. It changed history. And your decision to learn English, to improve yourself, to grow, that's changing your life too. Maybe you don't see it yet. Maybe it feels slow. But trust me, it's happening. You are changing. You are becoming.
Let me ask you something, my friend. What do you want? Not just in English, but in life. What do you dream about? Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to feel confident. Maybe you want to help your family. Maybe you just want to understand movies without subtitles. Whatever it is, it's valid. It's important. And English, it's a tool, a key, a bridge to help you reach that dream. And every moment you spend learning, you're getting closer, step by step, word by word. And I want you to remember, you're not alone. I'm here with you, every lesson, every word. I believe in you, even if we've never met, even if you're just a voice in my mind, or I'm just a voice in your headphones. I believe in you, because I've seen what people can do. I've seen people transform. I've seen people who thought they couldn't discover that they could. And you're one of those people. You are. Now, let's practice one more time. This time, I want you to focus on emotion, on feeling the words, not just saying them, but meaning them. Ready? Repeat slowly after me. I am capable. Again, I am capable. Now say it like you mean it. I am capable. Good.
Next one. Repeat slowly after me. I am growing. Again. I am growing. Feel it. Believe it. Now together. I am growing. Yes, you are. Next, repeat slowly after me. I am enough. Again, I am enough. Just as you are, right now. Say it with me. I am enough. Beautiful. One more. Repeat slowly after me. Today is a new beginning. Again, today is a new beginning. Every day is a chance. Say it together. Today is a new beginning. And it is, my friend. It really is. Last one. Repeat slowly after me. I will not give up. Again, I will not give up. Say it strong. Say it proud. Now together. I will not give up. Never, never give up. Take a breath. Close your eyes for a moment if you want. Feel what you just said. Feel the power in those words. You are capable. You are growing. You are enough. Today is a new beginning, and you will not give up. Remember that. Always. Napoleon's rise, it wasn't smooth. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks. There were battles he lost. There were times people doubted him. There were times he doubted himself. But he kept going. He kept trying. He kept believing. And that's the secret, my friend. Not perfection, not never failing, but never stopping, continuing, persisting, rising every time you fall. That's what makes someone great. Not talent, not luck, but persistence, courage, heart.
And you have heart. I know you do, because you're here. You're listening. You're learning. You didn't take the easy road. You didn't give up. You chose the path of growth, the path of effort, the path of hope. And that's beautiful. That's heroic in its own way. You might not be conquering countries, but you're conquering your fears, your doubts, your limitations. And that's everything. Let me tell you one last small story. A few months ago, I received a message from a student. She told me, "Smith, I've been watching your videos for 2 years, and at first, I barely understood anything. I had to replay every sentence 10 times. But I kept watching. I kept listening. And now, I can understand almost everything. I can even feel the emotion in your voice, and that makes me so happy, because I proved to myself that I can do hard things, that I can grow. Thank you for being patient with me." And when I read that message, I cried. Not because I did anything special, but because she did. She didn't give up. She believed. She kept going. Just like Napoleon, just like Maria, just like Ahmed, just like you. You are part of a long line of people who rose, who grew, who became more than they were. And that's something to be proud of. So proud.
Now, before we finish, I want to ask you something. Will you keep going? Will you keep learning? Will you keep believing in yourself? I hope you will. I really hope you will. Because the world needs your voice, your story, your light. And English is just one tool to help you share that light. But it's a powerful tool, and you're learning it. You're mastering it, one day at a time. If you enjoyed today's lesson, if you felt something, if this helped you even a little bit, please leave a like. It helps me so much. It tells me, yes, Smith, keep making these lessons. They matter. And if you want more lessons like this, slow, calm, motivational, subscribe to Motivate to Speak. Join our family, because that's what we are, a family of learners, a family of believers, a family of people who refuse to give up. And if you have a moment, leave a comment. Tell me, what did you learn today? How do you feel? What's your dream? I read every comment. I cherish every comment, because each comment, it's a connection, a reminder that we're in this together, that you're not alone, that I'm not alone, that we're all rising together. Napoleon Bonaparte, a boy from Corsica, an outsider, a dreamer, became an emperor.
Not because the world gave him permission, but because he gave himself permission. He believed, he worked, he rose. And you are rising too. Maybe not to an empire, but to something just as important. To confidence, to fluency, to self-love, to the best version of yourself. And that's everything. So take one more deep breath, my friend. Feel the air in your lungs. Feel the strength in your body. Feel the hope in your heart. You are here. You are alive. You are learning. You are becoming. And that is so, so beautiful. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for believing in yourself. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep shining. You are amazing. You really are. See you in the next slow listening lesson, my friend.
Napoleon Bonaparte, a boy from Corsica, an outsider, a dreamer, became an emperor. Not because the world gave him permission, but because he gave himself permission. He believed, he worked, he rose. And you are rising too. Maybe not to an empire, but to something just as important. To confidence, to fluency, to self-love, to the best version of yourself. And that's everything. So take one more deep breath, my friend. Feel the air in your lungs. Feel the strength in your body. Feel the hope in your heart. You are here. You are alive. You are learning. You are becoming. And that is so, so beautiful. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for believing in yourself. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep shining. You are amazing. You really are. See you in the next slow listening lesson, my friend.